This video's for you, chaps magoo. Adeline versus the Dragon with only one white mana in hand. Yeah, that's not the best hand we could keep, but I'm going to try it. We should have time against the Dragon. Our opponent just gets out of tap land. We get into the planes that we needed, so just going to make use of Cathar Commando, play that at the end of our opponent's turn. Well, they might have removal for it, just pass in with some black mana held up. Get into Solemn Simulacrum, so if we get into another land, we'll be able to cast that next turn. Play out our commander and we can swing in with the Cathar Commando, which will trigger our commander because it doesn't care which creature we swing in with. A Draconic Disciple, 1 mana of any colour, 7 tap and sacrifice to make a 5/5 dragon. Okay, so it's probably just Sword of Feast and Famine here. And we'll risk losing the Cathar Commando, try and really aggro out our opponent. They just chump block one of our 1/1 creatures, so we will go for the Sword of Feast and Famine. Explosive Vegetation, so they'll be at 6 lands, 7 mana with the Mana Dork. Still a couple of mana away from their Dragon though. So we get into a land, so might as well go for Sword of Feast and Famine onto the Adeline. Taking our opponent up to 10 commander damage. They will have to discard a card. We will untap our lands. Go for the Solemn Simulacrum so that we can hold up Rabble Rousing. Guessing the first dragon is going to enter the fray here. Nope, going for Crux of Fate instead, so wiping out all of the non-dragon creatures. So I'm guessing... yeah, I'm guessing that they didn't feel as though they could get their commander going anytime soon. Maybe they're missing lands from their hand, because they did just go down a mana with that board wipe. We will draw from the Solemn into another big creature in Elesh Norn. Okay, so Grand Abolisher. Yeah, instead of the Rabble Rousing, we'll go for our commander and then we can maybe get down Rabble Rousing next turn. Didn't look at what they discarded to the sword actually, that was Sark and the Masterless. Eladamri's Call searches them up a creature, and it is Hellkite Courser. Getting the Hellkite Courser into play, which will bring in the Dragon, so they'll draw a card and get a free permanent here, going up to 4 in hand. That is Dragonlord Dramoka, that's a good one to get into. Throwing out Haven of the Spirit Dragon. And down to 1 card in hand, they cast Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. Just added 2 command attacks to their Dragon though, because that goes back into the command zone. Alright, Elspeth is going to wipe out creatures if we can get into another mana. I don't think our opponent's going to go for a board wipe here. I'm going to let them get into more creatures. We'll get this Rabble Rousing out of the way. Get a Hideaway card underneath that. That can be just a Maul the Skyclaves, I think. The Hideaway on this is... yeah, if we control 10 or more creatures after it triggers, then we can play the Exiled card. Yeah, gonna let them get out more creatures so that we can make better use of Call the Coppercoats. Still managing to make land drops. Noteworthy that they do shock the Stomping Ground in, so maybe they can afford their commander here. Oh, of course, they don't add the command attacks on here because it didn't die. It just goes back to the command zone. Alright, so they do get the Dragon back. Draw a card with Kiora. And now they can swing in with 2 dragons. They'll get a free permanent into play. They get another dragon, that is Ojitai. So when a dragon you control attacks, tap a non-land permanent. Kiora untapping the Dragonlord Dramoka. And we get into that planes that we needed, so that means that we can just drop the Elspeth, and before we buff up our Adeline too much, we might as well minus that down and wipe all these dragons. Haven't seen any haste from the dragon player, thankfully. So wipe out those dragons with Elspeth, and then we'll attack the Kiora, try and get rid of their card draw here. Rabble Rousing just gets us into 1 citizen token, because it's only 1 that attacked there. Another 5-colour dragon, it's Scion of the Dragon this time. So they could go for a hasty dragon here and then swing in and turn it into Balefire Dragon or something. Instead, deciding to slam down Dramoka the Eternal. 2 green creatures here so we can get Adeline through. And hopefully get rid of the Kiora because it is keeping them in cards here. They are turning the Scion of the Dragon into something else. That is a Daragaz Reincarnated, which does have haste, so they're going to blow something up here. Swinging in at Elspeth. Oh, I thought this was the one that Chaos Warp something. Yeah, this is the one that's just difficult to get rid of. Okay. Emiria the Sky Ruin, couple of planes away from making that relevant, but that does mean we can maybe go Elesh Norn next turn, or the Akroma's Memorial might be a good idea. So let's play out the tap land. We're going to untap that with the Sword of Feast and Famine. So we can use our tokens that are going to come into play to get rid of Kiora and continue to threaten commander damage on our opponent. Let's drop ourselves a Grand Abolisher as well. Keep our opponent from interacting on our turn. Oh, actually, I keep thinking we can redirect the token. We can't, can we? So in that case, let's hold these creatures back. Yeah, I was thinking we'd bring in a token with Adeline and then could redirect it to Kiora. So we're just going to have to... Yeah, I would have equipped that to a different creature if I'd thought of that, but I didn't. So Adeline goes straight through to Kiora. I should have equipped up one of the tokens. So that means that we didn't land the damage directly onto the player in order to get rid of Kiora. Yeah, misplayed there. Should have put the equipment on one of the tokens, swung straight through to Kiora with that, and then put some more commander damage on our opponent, although I suppose they would have blocked with Dramoka then. So I'm not sure there was necessarily a good way to do that attack. Obviously holding up the Grand Crescendo now, which is a really good white heroic intervention. Temur Ascendancy immediately replacing the Kiora. 3 cards in hand. Now turning Scion of the Ur-Dragon into another creature. All of their dragons have haste now, thanks to the Temur Ascendancy. That is Silumgar, the Drifting Death. Creatures defending player controls get -1/-1 until the end of the turn, so that gets rid of all except our Adeline. Commander Sphere as well. So maybe should have ignored the Kiora and then we could have got Elesh Norn down, but yeah, and that would have undone the damage from this, but yeah, I mean that's playing around Silumgar when we didn't know they were going to go for that. So it's bolstering and -1/-1 on our stuff. I don't think we can do anything about. They're tapping out at least. We go down to 5 life here. Okay, Anointed Procession. Maybe Anointed Procession. And then call the Coppercoats, untap all of our mana, and go for Akroma's Memorial. Yeah, Silumgar's gone down now, so assuming that they don't reanimate it and swing straight in, I think that's our best bet. So we'll go call the Coppercoats on our opponent, and we'll get 2 doubled up to 4. And swing in at our opponent and pray that we keep this thing in play. Rabble Rousing going to trigger. Oh, actually, should have put that on the stack after the Adeline, shouldn't I? Scion of the Ur-Dragon turning into something in response. Turning that into Skithrix the Blight Dragon, so I'm guessing they're going for some reanimation next turn. No, we're actually 1 away from the Rabble Rousing hideaway anyway. But we have 11 commander damage on our opponent anyway. So get them on 21 points of commander damage. They got us down to 5 life, so almost had us there. Next turn, if there was a next turn, we were drawing into Cathar's Crusade, which is obviously really good with our 2 enchantments. Would have untapped our lands there and gone for Akroma's Memorial. And hopefully that would have given us the ability to block our opponent's creatures, because we would have had pro-black and flying. Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed that. Be sure to consider donating on Patreon if you did. Massive thank you to the patrons for supporting the channel already. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.